Gopala Hare Agnanam Timirandhasya Jnana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radhakanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Ya Kundendra Tushadhara Davana Ya Shuddhavastamrita Ya Veena Varadanda Manditakara Ya Shweta Padmasana Ya Brahma Chucha Shankara Prabhitivi Tehe Sada Vandita Samam Bhatu Saraswati Bhagavati Puti Pradam Sharade Puti Pradam Sharade. Jai Gurudev Bhagavan. So, how are you? Hot, eh? Well, I chose the wrong robe. So, one question which somebody asked. If I understood it right, then through the baptism, the sin, baptism or ablution, are washed away. The negative karma. Most of us were already baptized as little children. Then why is it then that we still wear our karma? Why we are not liberated of it? You see, baptism and you see when people go in the Ganges, they take ablution, no? Like I was explaining earlier, it's the same thing, to cleanse your impurity. But where is the impurity? The impurity is not outside. The impurity is inside, in your mind. You can baptize yourself 100 times. If you don't change your mind, nothing will change. You understand? This is just a reminder of what you have to change. So, baptism is seen as a cleansing, you know. But for that to happen, it's a process. At the beginning of a new life, it is said. No? So, when you start a new life, what is in your mind? New ambition, isn't it? You have great ambition. So your focus is always on your ambition. So you become very steady, very focused onto what you want. So the same thing, when you are cleansed, it's a reminder that what you have to cleanse is the mind. Because if you have to cleanse only the outside, it will not change anything. If a bottle is beautiful on the outside, doesn't mean that you can drink everything which is inside. No? Yes or no? You have a bottle, very beautiful, sexy, perfume bottle or whatever. But doesn't mean that what is inside you can drink. The poison is not outside, the poison is inside. And that is cleansed. What is inside is not cleansed only through the outside gesture. The outside gesture, of course, holds a certain energy. It holds a certain grace which help you to transform. Understand that. If you take a bottle, okay, we say in the Hindu tradition, by taking a dips in the Ganges, we are cleansed of our sin. Yes or no?
Yes.
That's why every day people go to the Ganges, they take a dip. 3 times, actually. Then they do the prayer. This is very important. So, imagine you fill urine in a bottle. Okay? You submerge it in the Ganges for a whole month. It must be very purified, no? Huh?
No.
Doesn't mean that when you take it out from the Ganges after whole months, it will be nectar. It will not change. No? So the thing is that whatever is inside need something which is inside to transform. And that is the name of God. The divine name. How to transform the mind, from always running from the outside, and utilize that same mind, which is, Lord Krishna said, a controlled mind is your best friend and an uncontrolled mind is your worst enemy. And this is very understandable, The mind is nothing to do with, can you hold the mind? You can't hold your mind. The mind will run where it have to run. And if you run behind the mind, are you free? Huh? How many people have got baptized? Are they free? No, they are not. Even the Pope is not. Because how the mind function if that mind have not surrendered? Krishna said a rajasic mind. A rajasic mind is mind by emotion and sensation. This is how the mind is always running left and right. It's steady, yes, but the steadiness of the mind, it is focused on what? How is the steadiness of the mind? Focus on certain object. No? So once its steadiness have reached that point of that object, how is the unrestlessness of the mind? The mind is again jumping. You become restless. Huh? The mind is always jumping. The emotion is always roaming around. No? So this is when the mind is focused on the steadiness of the outside, because it needs a certain object to focus about it. But whereas to cleanse oneself, we have to hold upon something which is not conceivable by the mind. No? And what is not conceivable by the mind is the name of the Lord Himself. The name of God cleanses one. You see, the action of the outside is a reminder of where we have to focus our mind. We let our mind run like a stray dog, outside, jumping from one things to the other. But that mind must only surrender to the feet of God through His name. Then you can say, yes, you are cleansed. Then only the karma stop to attack you, to take control of you. That's why Krishna can say it in the Gita. Those who surrender to me will never come back again there. He gave that assurance. But even Jesus said the same thing. No? Those who come to me, they will attain me. They will be with me. But how many truly have attained Him? A handful. Only a handful have surrendered truly. Only a handful have known truly what to surrender. This is because, well, nowadays when we talk about surrender, people get scared. One say, okay, if I have to surrender, I have to give up everything. No, God have given you everything. Enjoy it. But He didn't tell you to attach yourself to it. This is two different matter. That's why, even in spite, people take bath night and day in the Ganges, they are not free. You can have 100 of baptism, you will never be free. So what can free you is the surrendering of the mind only. And that is a grace which the Master gives you. Until you have that longing for God. Once a student was asking to the Guru, Maharaj, you always talk about longing for God. No? What it is, the longing for God? The Guru didn't answer him. The Guru, what he did, he took the student to the nearby pond, said, go inside, just like what I did to you. Go inside. The Guru went there and took the head of the student, plunged it in the water and hold it. After a while, he took him out and said, how do you feel? He said, I felt as if I was dying. So then the Guru said, here is your answer. Longing must be like that, as if you are dying to see him, to be with him. If you have such longing, then the cessation of karma happens. As long as you don't have that longing, then it is superficial. Bhagavan didn't ask you for anything. He don't ask you to leave anything. He just asks you one thing is, give me your mind. And that's what you say, no, I can't give you. So you're so attached to your mind. One thing that he's asking, you find it difficult to give. So how would you be free? He's ever ready to help you, but are you allowing him to help you? You depend so much on your self-power. Nowadays, you see, you hear this everywhere, you know. Depend on yourself. But to depend on oneself, first you have to know yourself. No? If you don't know yourself, how will you depend on yourself? Explain that to me. Huh? To depend on the mind, that which you call yourself, the mind is not you. To depend on this body, no, it is not even you. So the self must be something deeper. And this is why you are on the spiritual path now. To rediscover who you are, truly. What can we best do for our relative, fellow human being, when they suffer from severe illness? How can we help the soul, our relative, fellow human beings, post-mortem to reach the eternal light? There's two questions in it. What can we do best? What can we best do for our relative? You see, very often people don't appreciate people when they are living. But when they are dead, they will have a lot of bouquet and flowers on the tomb. What's the use of it? Tell me, when the person was alive, you didn't even bother to go and look at the person. You know, you didn't have time. You're so busy. Yes or no? You're always thinking, if I go, I will disturb that person. You don't know how happy that person will be to see that you are there. But no, you always think ahead of what other people are thinking about. So, the best way what you can do for your relative, spend as much time you have, you know, with them. Especially if they are ill, make that time the most precious. Because this is one thing that never come back again, time. Once it is gone, it's gone. So enjoy the moment with your loved one. No? Not after the person is dead, then you will go and put flower on the tomb. You don't need it. You need it because you feel guilty. That's why you bring flowers to put on the tomb. But think. When the person is alive, be with the person. That's what is the most important thing. That people can think, feel that they are love. If you don't feel that you are love when you are alive, then afterwards there's no use. The soul, how you will help the soul? Prayer always help. Prayers are vibration, which everything is governed by vibration. And when you pray, it can help a soul, whether the person was good or not good. Prayer always helps. And prayer also helps when the person is ill, which is suffering also. Because you see, positiveness is important. It is like having a room which is closed for many years. You have a house which is abandoned for many years, and it's completely dark inside the house. And if you take a candle and goes inside, does the darkness overcome the light? The light is shining. How dark it could be, how many years it could be. Everything can change when the light comes in. Darkness can't overshadow the light. So positiveness is important. How dark is your mind can be, but a positive thoughts is more powerful. French. I say it in English. What is the difference between Vaikuntha and heaven? And what is the life of the soul there? Well, if you reach heaven, so Vaikuntha is the highest of all heavens. And heavens, there is many levels of heavens. So imagine you have done little bit good in this life, okay? Little bit, not too much. You can't expect to go to the high heaven. No? If there was only one heaven, so then why some people will do little good will go to the same heaven, somebody will do lots of good will go to the same heaven? Then there is not fairness. Huh? In the Gita, Bhagavan Krishna explained, also in Bhagavatam I explained, that there is a multitude of heavens. And there's also a multitude of hell. There's not only one. You go some for a shorter holiday, depend on how bad you were here. If you have done a little bad things, you will go to a little hell. For a short journey, for a short holiday there. And one after that, you come back here. So heavens, you have to understand, heavens are not permanent stay. Heavens, you go, it's like you have been working here, So you have work, get enough money, then you can enjoy your money. And if you have work, but let's say you have enjoyed life taking credits always. Okay? Then you will have to pay also. So it's a debit and credit. Life here is like that also, in the form of punya, which is called merits. So when you do good in your bank, which is not here, in the divine bank, I will not say upstairs because it is not flying in the sky. So in the divine realm, the bank also accumulate the good things that you do in the form of punya. If you do good punya, your bank account increase. If you didn't do good, have done bad, your bank account decrease, you go minus, and that is downstairs. That's why it's called elevator and elevator. So you elevate yourself or you elevate yourself. So like that, it balances. But they are not permanent. Don't think that heavens are permanent. Even Indra is scared of his seat in heavens because it is not permanent. In the Gita, Krishna explained from earth, which is Patal Lok, hell, Bhulok, and Swarg, which is heavens, and Brahmalok, which is beyond heavens, the world of Brahma. None of these are permanent because all of these are subjected to the law of Maya. So Mahamaya, everything that she covers have a beginning and have an end. So you will go to heavens. As long as you have good punya, you will enjoy it there. Then after you finish there, you will come back here. So if you have little money up there, you go for a short while. And then you come back to work. To burn some karma and so on. Or, credit, you have to work harder. Then you come back here again. So you rotate in that cycle. That's why birth and death carry on. No? Until you receive the grace of rising above, which means what is beyond the realm of Maya. What is beyond the realm of Maya is Srimad Narayana. The abode of Srimad Narayana is Vaikuntha. That's why Krishna could say, whoever surrendered to me will not be born again. Because he is not bound by Maya. And those who truly surrender transform themselves. Then only he shines. When he shines within your heart, then you are with him. You are not in that cycle. Because that cycle very often can be very dangerous. You see, in the spiritual field, we have two terms which are called bhukti and mukti. Yeah, mukti means liberation. And bhukti means all that we want, all the pleasure. They said these two things are very dangerous. And we are not, people don't get free. Because you see, spiritual people, very often they desire liberation without knowing what is liberation. But in reality, within the two, liberation is the worst. Because you don't know what is liberation. And yet, you desire liberation. When we look at the scriptures, what they say, those who desire mukti, liberation, it's called spiritual suicide. Why? Let's analyze it in that way. You see, we are bound by four category of our life is determined by 4 steps, no? Which is dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Dharma is one's duty, no? Artha is all the wealth that we want, we want to be happy, we want to achieve something. Kama is to fulfill all the desire, have a human being your desire. And moksha is meant to be liberated at the end. So within this 4, moksha is the worst one. Why it is worst? Because you see, under spiritual path we say, yes, we want liberation. But in reality, it's not an easy task to be free. Truly to be free is to attain Vaikuntha, to attain the place where we can serve the Lord. But in the mind of people, moksha means they merge into Sampurnam Brahma, which means they merge into the void and become one with the void, which means you are nothing. Your life, all the lives you have lived, means nothing. You will never understand what is true love. That's why on the bhakti path, we don't talk about liberation. We talk about serving the Lord eternally. And serving the Lord eternally means you reach to Vaikuntha, which is eternal. Whereas attaining Brahman also is eternal, but you will never feel the bliss within you. Because the true aspect of who you are the blissful state. As the Lord is Sampurna. The Lord is full in itself, which means He is Satchidananda, eternal bliss. And this is your true state itself, because you're an expansion of Him, you're an ansh of Him, you're part of Him. And the part of Him, it is also pure bliss. Only when you have reached to that level of you can feel that blissful state, then you know you're fully liberated truly, which means you will always be with Him. It's too much strong. You understand? Are you falling asleep? So then, there the soul lived. In Vaikuntha, the soul lived eternally. Whereas in heaven, the soul go for a short holiday and come back. What is the difference between Sadguru and the master? You see, there is many master. When you have mastered something, you become a master. You don't become a Sadguru. Sadguru, you are born as Guru. Whereas a master, you learn, achieve a certain state. For example, you have different kind of master. You have master maths. You're master in physics. You have master in yoga also. So like that, you can be master in many subjects. But you can't be guru in many subjects, no? You can't be Sadguru in many subjects. What it is, the different is that master can give you only the thing that they have learned about. If, for example, they can't give you the grace of God, that is far away. Whereas Sadguru, if you see that you are sincere, you are ready for it, he can give you that. He can even give you Vaikuntha. He can give you God if you want. And that's a big difference between the two. One can give you only knowledge, because the master have not fully transcend this reality into the divine realm. He have mastered certain things. Well, Sadguru have encountered God. That's why you can see the difference. One will talk only about the matter of the world, how to be happy, how to transcend your mind, and how to not be miserable. Only things which is for here only. But he can't talk about something which is beyond. Sadguru will talk. It doesn't matter, you understand, you don't understand. Your Atma is grasping everything. And this is a big difference between the two. How is that? I know Guruji don't thank us, but what about thanking Guruji or others? Do I delete their punya? Well, you can always thank the Guru, Me, I don't say thank you because I don't want to take the punya away from you. Because you see, a devotee, when they do the service, they should not expect anything in return. By expecting even a thank you will balance everything. That's not good. Because the duty, the dharma of the devotee or disciple is to serve and enjoy that service. Not expect anything in return, not even a thank you. Because when you say thank you, then you feel, okay, there's a different, Why you say thank you to somebody? Because that person is not dear to you. But if that person is dear to you, there's no need even to say thank you to that person. So, this. Okay, the rest is in French. En français. You are happy?
Translation.
Oh, you want to translate the whole thing now?
From French to English.
Eh?
From French to English.
Okay. Une jeune fille amoureuse de son ami tombe 2 fois enceinte et pour diverses raisons, les 2 fois, elle décide d'avorter. Quelles sont les influences karmiques ou d'autres actes pour la jeune fille, pour l'ami? Okay. So it's clear. No need to explain anything then, eh? The machine have explained everything. Namaskar.
You speak French?
Un tout petit peu.
On se débrouille.
French is good.
So. Voilà. Qu'est-ce qu'on peut dire pour ça? Krishna dit dans le Gita, le thème pour le karma est très complexe en lui-même. Parce que pour comprendre comment le karma fonctionne, ouais, c'est difficile pour le mental. Parce que souvent, des fois, on pense que si on fait quelque chose du bien maintenant, la prochaine vie, on est balancé avec ça. Vous voyez? La prochaine vie aussi, le bien va arriver. Ou si on a fait quelque chose du mal dans cette vie, dans l'autre vie aussi, quelque chose du mal va nous arriver. Mais en fait, c'est pas comme ça. Parce que quand je vous ai expliqué, le karma fonctionne au niveau des mérites, ce que vous avez fait. Si les mérites sont... ça se balance, ça peut... Hein?
Ça s'équilibre.
Voilà, ça s'équilibre. Dans l'autre vie, ça peut changer. Mais c'est pas vraiment... On peut dire que le karma, ce qu'on a fait dans cette vie, ça va équilibrer dans l'autre vie. Ça peut prendre de plusieurs de vies aussi pour balancer un karma. You understand? Non? Ah, ouais? Super.
Le concept, c'est
Ouais. Dans le Bhagavad Gita, après la guerre de Kurukshetra, Dhritarashtra et Krishna se parlaient. Et Dhritarashtra, c'est le papa des Kauravas. Il demande à Krishna, dis-moi, Krishna, toi tu es l'être suprême, parce que j'ai entendu, parce que je ne peux pas voir, mais j'ai entendu ta gloire. J'ai entendu ce que Arjuna a vu. Arjuna a vu, non? Mais dis-moi, j'arrive pas à comprendre pourquoi mes 100 enfants sont morts. Qu'est-ce que j'ai fait du mal pour que je puisse... J'ai perdu mes enfants. Ils ont tous été tués. Et Krishna lui dit, je vais te dire le karma, ce que tu as fait. Le karma, ce que pour perdre les 100 enfants, c'est pas dans ta vie passée, mais c'est dans 50 vies auparavant. Ce 50 vies auparavant, tu étais tu étais un roi, tu pars chasser, et tu voulais tuer un oiseau. Tu as pris ton arc et ta flèche, et tu voulais tuer un oiseau, et tu l'as raté. Tu l'as poursuivi, mais à chaque fois que tu voulais le tuer, tu l'as raté. Mais par rage, tu as tué 100 de ces petits enfants, les petits oiseaux. Et c'était ce karma que 50 vies auparavant que tu es en train de payer maintenant. Et le roi lui dit, mais pourquoi je devais attendre 50 vies? Il dit, pour avoir les mérites, pour avoir 100 garçons, ça ne vient pas si facilement. Tu as dû travailler pendant 50 vies pour pouvoir payer un seul karma. C'est pour ça qu'il dit très complexe. C'est pas ce qu'on fait maintenant, on va le récupérer dans la prochaine vie. Et comme on est dans le chemin de Bhakti, on ne doit pas vraiment attendre notre prochaine vie. Si on peut se soumettre, surrender, s'abandonner, le mental, comme j'expliquais avant, c'est ça qu'on doit faire. C'est pour ça que si quelqu'un a fait le deux avortements, tout ça, il y a toujours le karma à payer. Parce qu'on ne peut pas prendre une vie. Et ce karma viendra. Ça me vient, il y avait une dame qui avait fait, je sais pas, 7 ou 8 fois l'avortement. Et cette dame, je crois que c'était en Suisse ou en France, je ne sais plus. Et un jour, on était en train de parler, et elle a tellement un grand regret dans sa vie. Parce que quand ça arrive, on pense toujours on est en train de faire du bien. Parce qu'on est tellement, on regarde simplement notre propre joie, notre propre bonheur. On oublie qu'on est aussi, on fait partie aussi de cette loi qui gouverne tout. Et elle dit, le jour quand elle voulait avoir un enfant, elle ne pouvait pas. Et jusqu'à maintenant, elle n'a pas d'enfant. Elle ne peut pas avoir d'enfant. Et c'est ça que des fois le karma aussi reflète sur cette vie aussi. C'est pas simplement on dit bon, ce qui arrivera après. Parce que souvent des fois on pense oh, oui mais maintenant on est bien, mais après ce qui arrivera on ne sait pas, hein, ça, c'est une autre vie, ça va. Beaucoup de gens pensent comme ça. C'est pour ça que le bon Dieu a changé son comment tu dis, son thème. Il dit non, dans cette vie aussi tu dois payer. So, welcome. You had the traffic on the way. Nice. You want to translate it for them?
Do you need translation for the French part?
Yes.
For the French part? Ah, okay.
Obviously not.
Mikrofon, geht das besser? Das hat mir
So there was the question that a girl who was very much in love with her boyfriend had tried to fell pregnant twice, and twice she lost the child. And the question was, what was the karma? Or what happened? What was the karmic reason that she lost these children? And Guruji explained that Krishna explained in the Gita that the law of karma is very, very complex, and you cannot just comprehend it by thinking, okay, what I do this time will just be the exact equivalent the next life. So if I do something really good this life, something really good will happen next life, or if I do something really bad this life, something really bad will happen next life. That it's just the exact equal thing just coming back to you. He said karma is like a sort of a bank account. It is much, much more complex, because in order to balance itself out, it can take one life, it can take many lives, it can take many lives till it actually hits you and comes back. And Guruji explained that after the war in Kurukshetra, Dhritarashtra and Krishna had a talk. And Dhritarashtra asked Krishna and said, I know you are the Supreme Lord. I can't see you, but I heard about you, I heard about your glory, and I heard about what Arjun has seen during the war in Kurukshetra. But I just can't understand why my 100 sons have died. What did I do to lose all of my children? Why have all of them been killed? And Krishna said, it was your karma for losing all of your 100 sons. It is not because you have been bad this life or last life, but it happened 50 lives back. 50 lives back, you were a king and you went hunting. And you wanted to kill a bird, you were hunting a bird. And you were hunting, you were aiming, you were trying to get your prey, and you just couldn't kill the bird. So you got very upset, you got enraged. And you killed all the little birds, 100 little birds, instead of the big bird. So losing your 100 sons is what happened to you because you killed these 100 little birds. And you had to pay for that karma now. And the king and the Dhritarashtra said, but why do I have to wait for 50 years that karma would hit? He said, well, you have the boon for 100 sons. That's not something that comes very easily. You had to work very much for it. So you had to work 50 lives for it to get the boon, the good punya, to have 100 sons. So then that karma could hit from that 50 years back to basically take away or balance out that karma when you were killing all these little birds. You had to work for 50 years to get the 100 sons, and then you had to pay for what you have done 50 lives back. So this is where Guruji said it's much more complex than what we think. And we cannot just take life and think karma won't hit us at any stage. And he was even telling another story. He said there was a lady, and she had been having abortions, and she had a very big regret in her life. And the day she wanted actually to have children, she can no longer have children. So Guruji said that even sometimes God changes the game, because we think, okay, you know, what we do in this life, it doesn't affect us. We just, whatever happens in the next life, doesn't matter. We don't care about it. It's next life. Sometimes God amps up the game, and then just also makes karma hit you right now in this life.
In the book of Sri Paramahamsa Yogananda, the autobiography of a yogi, he's speaking about that after death, the astral and the causal body need to be dissolved for the soul to be free. Is the spiritual body you are speaking about beyond the causal body, and what is the difference? If the soul is finally free and come back to serve, can the causal body setting form before, I can't read it, come back to serve, can the causal setting ground before being used? Okay. So in the autobiography, I see the causal body and the astral body, like I was explaining earlier, from here until Brahmalok, which means the world of Brahmas, they are all bound by Maya. But your Atma in itself is not bound by anything. Your Atma comes from a very high degree of spirituality, you know. Your Atma comes before everything was created, before you have your personal ego or your personal identity. The Atma have a spiritual form also. It's present into the cosmic body of the Lord himself. So to attain back this, we have to dissolve everything. All the astral body and the causal body. Because the astral body and the causal body is still under influence of Maya. So as long as it is into the influence of Maya, which means Maya governs the free mode of... Sorry? The free gunas, yeah. So, Rajasic, Tamasic and Sattvic. So these free modes is within the causal and the astral body. So as long as you hold upon this, you're still into the cycle of birth and death. So you will never be free. So to be free, which means you have to also let go of these three: Rajasic, Tamasic and Sattvic. Once you have let go of it, your causal body and your astral body cease to exist. What exists, what beam, is only the divine light, which is the parcel of God within you, the Atma itself. And this is the spiritual body. So your spiritual body, don't think that it will have the same form as you. No, it will not, because all these are put upon it. You know, thousands or millions of life you have taken. They are all identity which you have always called yourself. You know? So which one is you? None of these are you. So which means also the astral body and the causal body is not you. So that divine identity which it is talking here, you see, to be free only when you have attained that aspect. Mahavatar Babaji, you know, even the question is referred, if you have to come back again and serve, whether you can put on that. No, it doesn't. Look at Mahavatar Babaji. He's still here. More than 5,000 years he has been here, you know, and he's still here. But his body is not bound by anything. So for one to reach that state, that's what Krishna also said in the Gita, become a yogi. A yogi's mind is balance. It's not shifting from left to right, right to left. Because when you see, for a human, let's say how we think in payoff opposite. If there is good, automatically there will be bad. Even if you don't say, no, I don't want to look at the bad thing, but automatically if you're looking at the good, the bad will be there. So, but a yogi mind function in a balanced way. That what only when you're in the middle you can observe everything. Because if you're in one corner, you will see only one side. If If you're in the corner, if you're in this corner, you will not see what is happening in the other side. If you're in that corner, you will not see what is happening in that corner. But if you're in the middle, you can observe both. So Krishna explained, become a yogi. So a yogi is beyond the free guna. It is like a point. In a dot, all three are there. All the three gunas are there. But the yogi is beyond it. So the yogi is not attached to anything. Is not attached to the causal body, to the astral body, not even to the spiritual body. So that's why it can shine, that freedom. So, for example, when we take Mahatar Babaji's body, some great, those who is lucky who have met him personally, of course, you have an interaction with him. You can see him like I'm seeing you. And we speak, but we don't speak like verbal. It's all telepathic. And also for some great yogis, Bhavtar Babaji have come into the light body. How it happened, you just see a beam of light that appeared, and he appeared out of it. So you see, for yogis, they have reached that state where they are ever free. Even if they are still present on earth, they are not bound by anything. So even the causal body or the astral body doesn't affect them. It's the same with a devotee, for example, who is truly surrendered. So when the devotee have fully surrendered, the mind is fully absorbed into the divine. So when the mind is fully absorbed into the divine, you start to transform. So you start transforming yourself. You are becoming divine. So all which you think of yourself disappeared. Then a new aspect of yourself awake. And this is your divine aspect. And it awake more and more until the Lord reveal himself within you. That's why he said, I abide within the soul. I am the soul of the soul. So it's not just the soul. First you have the degree of self-realization. When you become self-realized, you have to deepen yourself, no? So self-realization is not the fullness of it. Then you deepen yourself until you have God realization. Where the soul of the soul reveal itself. The Lord which is sitting within you reveal himself. The moment he reveal himself, you are free. So here, as long as you have self-realization, you are not free. So self-realization is bind, still the causal and the astral body is still present. Because you still hold upon a certain identity. In the Bhagavatam, there is a beautiful story of Jalabharata. You know the story of Jarabharata? No? So he was a king who decided after some time, he wanted to renounce everything. So he renounced his throne, he gave it away to his children. And he became very deep in his sadhana. And he became self-realized. So in his spiritual advancement, he reached a very high degree of spirituality. But yet, he didn't have God realization. So, he had reached a very high degree of in spirituality. One day, there was a mother deer she was pregnant. So she was drinking water by the lake. So as she was drinking water, she felt that a tiger is coming. So panicking, she started running. So she ran up on a cliff. So of course the tiger also was running behind her. So then she went up on the cliff. She was looking, where shall I go? She was in a trap. The cliff fall down again, or go back and be eaten by the tiger. So thinking about her child, she said, I will try to jump. So she jumped from the cliff to the other side. But as she was doing that, she gave birth to the fawn. The baby fell, and of course the mother hit the other cliff. She died. So Jarabharata was looking what was happening. So when he saw that the fawn fell into the water, so he felt pity inside his heart. So he rushed quickly, swam into the pond and into the pond of water, then saved the little deer. So brought the little deer, and from that on he started to feed, look after the deer. So the deer became very attached to him, and he became very attached to the deer. So he could not leave the deer at any moment. Wherever he will go, his mind was not anymore on God. His mind was on the deer, on the fawn. So he will not be at peace. So it so happened that, of course, after many years, he became very old, and time for him to pass have come. So he was away from the ashram, from his hut, from his place he was living. As he was there, he sensed that I'm going to die now. So in his mind, he had the image of the fawn, the deer, who will look after the deer. And he died with that image. So in his next life, he was born as a deer. But due to his punya from past life, because he have reached a very high degree in spirituality, because he have reached self-realization, he could remember everything what happened in his past life. So he said to himself, this time I will not deviate from my aim. Until I reach God realization, until I have the darshan of him, I will not deviate. So what he did, he lived around the ashram. So around the ashram, he will be always hearing the prayer and be among the sadhu and the saints. So like that his life passed. Again he died. And this time when he died, he was born as a devotee. So when he died as a when he was born as a devotee, he said, my life is only for the Lord. So his mind was fully absorbed in remembrance of Srimad Narayana. So in that life, he was not interested in anything. He said, I have had chances which I have missed. In this life I will not, miss that chance again. I will not make the same mistake. So what he did, he surrendered his life completely. And he stayed in the forest. So in that forest there was some tribal people. That time they wanted, the tribal, they used to do sacrifice, human sacrifice. So when they were looking for somebody to sacrifice, they came across Jarabarata. And said, that's a good good sacrifice for Devi. So they took him, they feed him well, they look after him nicely, So on the day of sacrificing, so they dress him in beautiful clothes, They said, wow, that's a very... The Devi will be so happy we are offering her a great devotee. So they dress him nicely and they garland him and they put him in front of Mahakali's statue. And they were ready to kill him. So as they were ready to cut his head off, Devi came out from the statue. And you know how Kali is. Kali is wild. She came out and she killed the tribal people. And free him, because he's a bhakta, he's a devotee of the Lord. You can't offer a devotee as sacrifice, because the devotee, in the heart of the devotee is the Lord himself. The heart of the Lord resides in the devotee, and the devotee's heart resides with the Lord. So just by one mistake, of attaching itself to the phone, he had to take all this life again. So, but nevertheless, the punya which he had received, he could remember everything. He didn't forget about his past life. He could remember everything because he had reached to that level of self-realization. But yet he was not free. He became free only when he had the darshan of the Lord within him. So Devi, when Devi have appeared there, when Devi disappeared, normally she graced him, because he's a bhakta. So he graced him to see the divine within himself. So he was not anymore self-realized, he was God-realized. That's why he could see Srimad Narayana inside of his heart. So when you reach to that state, of course, then you have your spiritual body. And eternally, once you have reached to that state of God realization, there is no way back here. But self-realization, yes, you still come to progress yourself. That's why there is many, saints which is still on the progression towards God realization. So that you don't lose it, you know, carry on. Good. You don't need to translate into French, huh? Pouvez-vous nous parler un peu de Mahavtar Babaji? Où est cette autre dimension? Où il se trouve? Can you speak about Mahavtar Babaji and about the other dimension where he is? Actually, Mahavtar Babaji, I was telling to a few days ago, somebody asked me also, you know, they said, please bring me. I said, well, normally I don't talk about Mahavtar Babaji too much because Mahavtar Babaji told me not to speak about him a lot. So the few things which I have always talked about was my personal experience with him, which I guess you know about it. No, so no. You know about Mahavtar Babaji? Mahavtar Babaji gave me darshan when I was 5 years old, around when I was... Maybe can tell the story? I've told this so many times. No, it's okay. It's always strange to speak about that, but I'll cut it short, the long story. You know. So when I was 5 years old, I had eaten some poisonous seeds, and I was foaming and I fainted. You know. So they rushed me quickly to the hospital, and of course there the doctor did the procedure. So one day, afterwards, there was this man standing outside on the window, and he was giving sweets to all the children. And I remember I went to him, asked him, "Why are you here?" Which is a bit strange when I think about it now. You know, you ask somebody, "Why are you here?" You know. So that was the thing I said to him. "Why are you here?" I said, "I have come to see my children, and especially you." And of course, 5 years old, it didn't make much sense. So he held my hand, and he put one sweet and 1 rupee in my hand. So for 5 years old, then I remember when I was small, I used to collect cents. I used to ask my grandfather for some cents to go and buy biscuit. That was a time I used to buy sweets, which is 1 cent. And nowadays, no. I don't know whether you would remember that. But it was 1 rupee, was a lot of money. So I was very focused on that. So, without turning behind, he asked me a question. He said to me, "Do you know who you are?" I didn't bother to answer because it didn't make much sense to me to answer this question. So I didn't answer anything. So then, without looking behind anything, he pointed behind him with his finger and he said, "Do you see the light?" And I was looking, there's a hill by the window, you know, when you look outside. I was looking and looking, what light is he talking about? And I said, "No, I don't see any light." Then he bent down, looked in my eyes, and said, "Look properly." So that second time when I looked, I saw, like the sun, a ball of light, very bright, and surrounded by another halo of light. And of course, this man said to me, "That's you." It was amazing, the brightness of it, and it was shimmering. How long have this last? This I don't know. So when I came back to myself, he said to me, I have to go, your auntie and your mom is coming. He just left his hand and he disappeared. And so when my mom and my auntie came 15 minutes later, I was so excited to show the rupee and the sweet. And to tell about this uncle, this man actually, I didn't know it was an uncle. And of course my mom thought that it was a children's story. Somebody have come and give a sweet, and I said, it is your uncle, one uncle. So okay, fine. That was an uncle have given the sweet. So that was gone. 6 months later, I went to the dentist, and the dentist wanted to remove my big tooth, actually, because it was paining. And I didn't want the dentist to remove the tooth. What I did, I bit the dentist's finger. And I bit it hard, actually. He was screaming, poor guy. And my mom was really angry. And she slapped me and sent me out. And of course she was apologizing. When I came out, the same uncle was standing outside. Huh? Yeah, the same uncle was standing outside. And he said to me, you've been naughty. And I was crying because I got beaten up inside. And I said, yeah, I bit the finger, I didn't want it. He just smiled. And my mom came out very angrily, pulled me. And I was just saying, Mom, this is the same uncle. And she just looked, there was nobody there. Like that, you see, he was always there. It's not, you see, he's not living in any dimension. He's living here, when even now we are talking about him, he is here. It's not that he's not here. It's just that you have to feel him and have the eyes to see him. No? I had been lucky because I didn't even know this was uncle was Mahatar Babaji. And I thought first it was because I thought it was Shirdi Sai because I like Shirdi Sai very much. I thought it was Shirdi Sai for some time until 2008, when I got initiated. He told me, I've been always with you, and he revealed that all this time he was there. Even to some extent, you see, in the train, when I was traveling from Basel to Frankfurt, in the train itself, of course he would not come like you see him here, He always come in his own way. In the train, from Basel to Frankfurt some years back, actually, like 10 years ago, there was this man come like crazy directly to me and said to me, do you speak English? I said, yes. He said, you didn't recognize me? Then he went away. I said, what a strange man. Then he came again, started smiling, said, you didn't recognize me, second time. But one thing you were catching is the eyes. How many aspects he can take on the outside, but his eyes reflect the same light, same love. The moment I recognized his eyes, he disappeared in front of everybody in the train itself. But other people in the train, they all saw it. And I met him several times, of course, personally, which this I have to keep it for myself. You have heard of Mahavtar Babaji from autobiography?
Initiated into Kriya Yoga,
Ah, yeah. Which tradition?
Babaji's tradition by Tamil Nafisi,
From Pune?
born in Iran but lives in the US now.
I heard about that.
He was himself initiated by Swami Hariharananda.
Ah, okay. From Hariharan. That's fine. So, you're tired? Little bit. Wow, it's 7 o'clock already. It's 9 o'clock already. No, 9. Comment faire pour être plus concentré et présent dans la vie de tous les jours? Pour pouvoir être plus présent et plus concentré, aimez ce que vous faites. Faites chaque chose par amour. Parce que quand vous faites quelque chose que vous aimez, vous ne perdez pas de... how you call it? You don't get disturbed, you know, you don't get fed up with it. Traduit.
Vous n'êtes pas ennuyé par ce que vous faites.
Mais quand vous êtes ennuyeux, même 10 minutes, c'est trop. Hein? So, fais des choses que, pour pouvoir plus se concentrer. Fais toutes choses avec amour. Okay, I will be fast now. I will not talk too much. Est-ce que nous retrouvons les personnes de notre famille pendant plusieurs vies où les rôles changent? Oui, souvent, des fois, si vous n'êtes pas libéré des liens karmiques, vous vous retrouverez. La vie, pourquoi la vie, ça arrive? Souvent, des fois, on pense, oui, on a des gens autour de nous, mais en vérité, c'est pour finir certains karmas. C'est pour ça que la vie nous est donnée, pour on puisse finir et avancer. C'est sûr que vous allez vous rencontrer, oui, mais pas dans le même contexte. Vous allez rencontrer peut-être dans différents contextes. Si vous et même votre famille a évolué, pourquoi vous rencontrez les familles? Parce que vous avez quelque chose en commun, quelque chose qui vous est lié. Mais ces choses qui vous est liées, ça doit être des faits aussi. C'est pour ça que dans la vie, souvent des fois, vous êtes très attaché avec quelqu'un ou avec des gens, et tout d'un coup, c'est fini. C'est pas que la relation dans le cœur est finie, mais le lien karmique est fini. Et quand le lien karmique est fini, c'est fini. Vous partez votre chemin, la personne part son chemin, mais vous devez avancer tout le temps. Et souvent, des fois, c'est quand vous sentez « Ah, c'est terrible ce qui est arrivé. » Non, il faut le voir simplement que ce qui arrive, c'est bien. Même si, pour l'instant, quand ça arrive, vous ne le voyez pas. Parce que du moment que quelque chose de terrible arrive, oh, c'est terrible, hein, on ne peut pas voir, on ne peut rien voir. Mais, à la longue, vous voyez que ce qui est arrivé, c'est bien. Ok, let's go. On va encore en français. Je trouve difficile de concilier le chemin spirituel avec ma vie professionnelle de succès et un bel aspect extérieur, vêtements beaux, cheveux, soins, etc. Est-ce que la spiritualité exclut ses attributs extérieurs? Do I look like a beggar? I know. Do you understand? You see, I'll say it in English so that it's nice. The person said, I see the difficulty that on the spiritual path, you know, the profession. I like to be the professional, to be successful, and I like to dress nicely, have beautiful hair, and come nicely. Is this spirituality exclude these things? No, of course not. Did you see our God, how they are, beautifully dressed? You know, look at Krishna. No. Look at him. You know, he don't look like a beggar. Huh? Look, all the jewelry on him. Look his clothes. He was wearing always silk clothes. You see, this is the thing, like I was explaining earlier. You see, people look on the external aspect of spirituality. The spirituality is not outside. You know, what you're wearing, you know, doesn't say, oh yeah, this one is wearing this kind of clothes, this one is wearing that kind of clothes. Oh, people look only in the outside. Doesn't mean that you change, you know. Very often so many times people go on the spiritual path, they change only the outside, you know. Before they used to wear Western clothes, now they wear Indian clothes. They call themselves spiritual, you know, because you wear a tilak on your forehead, you know, you are wearing a mala, you are dressed in an exotic way. Does not make you spiritual. You know? Spirituality resides inside of you. You know? It's not what you're wearing or what you have. So what you're wearing, what you have, God have given you all this. He didn't tell you not to use it, not to wear it. If He have given you, wear it. You want to dress yourself in gold from your head to your toe? It's yours, wear it. Nobody is telling you not to wear it. No. If you don't self-judge yourself, why? What is the problem for somebody else to judge them, to judge you? They can judge themselves, you know, because you see, if somebody is not happy with themselves, they will never be happy with anybody. So if people like you or don't like you, the way you are dressed or the way you are, it's not a problem, because they are not happy with themselves. That's why they will never be happy. So spirituality is not what you're wearing, you know. It's the attitude of what you're wearing. You know, you can wear a nice clothes, you can wear nice jewelry, you can have a big house and big beautiful hair, you know. If you feel happy about that, it's fine. You have to be happy with it. And like I said earlier, you know, Bhagwan don't ask you for anything. Don't ask you to renounce all what He have given you. Then why would He give you? What He asks is not to be attached to it. Have it, enjoy it, don't be attached. That's what He told to Arjun. Said to Arjun, Arjun was lamenting, I have to fight. These are my dearest cousins, uncle, teachers, no? How can I kill them? So what did Bhagwan say? If you don't do your duty, what will happen? You go to hell. Not a not a small hell, but the deepest one. Then he said, if you kill them, still you will go to hell. Both ways. Maybe a bit less, because you're doing your duty. So running away from one duty will bring you deeper hell. Doing your duty, you will go to a little middle hell. So what to do? Arjuna was confused even more. Bhagwan, what shall I do? And he said, do your duty, which means fight. But let your mind be upon me. So he didn't ask anything. What he asked Arjuna is to let his mind be upon him. He didn't tell him, no, run away. No, he said, fight. Here he's saying not only to Arjuna, he's saying to everybody, go, do your dharma, in life. Don't feel ashamed of what you have. You want to dress nicely? Dress nicely. But knows one thing, but this dress is not you. This hair is not you. It is nice to have beautiful hair. It is nice to have nice clothes. But let your mind be upon him. Let your mind be focused on your goal and your aim. The spirituality is that, it's not the external thing, but is inside of you. So that's Karma Yoga. Comment faire face à la jalousie? Ah, terrible question. So, tell me, who is jealous of who? You are jealous of someone, or somebody else is jealous of you? So, no, I want to know, Qui est jaloux de qui? Vous êtes jaloux de quelqu'un, ou l'autre personne est jaloux de vous? Nobody, the person disappeared already, the person who asked this question. Hein? So, comment faire face à la jalousie? Si tu fais face à la jalousie, ça veut dire que quelqu'un d'autre était jaloux de toi, non? Mais comment tu sais que la personne est jalouse de toi, si tu n'es pas jaloux de la personne? Ouais, mais pour ressentir, il y a un degré de cette jalousie aussi. Voilà. So, let's say, how to face jealousy from others, So the first thing I ask, how do you know the person is jealous? Because you are thinking of that person. Because somebody will not say, oh, I am jealous of you.
But sometimes they're very obvious comments and made that can make you very sick if you figure out that.
Yes, this is
Very obvious.
This is something else. But one thing is that if you take something which doesn't belong to you, okay, then it will be yours. Okay. Lord Buddha once was sitting and meditating. So a man came to him and started shouting, insulting him. So Lord Buddha opened one eye and looked at him and closed quickly the eyes again. So after some time of shouting and shouting and shouting, the man calmed down. The Buddha opened his eyes and said, "You finish?" The man said, "I guess so." Then the Buddha said, "I asked you one question. If you bring a gift to somebody and that person refuses that gift, to whom does that gift belong?" To the person who brought that gift. So it's the same thing. I say, if you take that comment to heart, then it will trouble you. But if you don't take the comment to heart, then it will not bother you. Even if it is a dear person, because very often you get hurt mostly by people which is dear to you. So, if you take it, whether it is also energetically, or through comments, if you take it, then it becomes yours. But if you don't take it, it will not bother you. Very often, we pre-think also. We always think ahead of things, We always know better that person is very strange. That person is very, I feel that person is jealous of me. But you already create a certain attitude, You who have to be positive, quickly you fall into the negativity of others.
It's also getting entangled in karma then, isn't it?
Yeah, because when you take it, then you are in the game. And it is like if sometimes you see on Facebook, you see one person put a comment, another person will discuss on it, another person will discuss on it, and it is endless. I'm taking an example of Facebook because this is nowadays, you see that everywhere. But people's opinion, it is their opinion. Their opinion doesn't mean that it is your opinion. Very often you will feel hurt because somebody have given a certain comment, but you don't even know the person. The person have nothing to do with you. So why you take it? Then you become miserable. Your happiness is finished, is gone. So choose what you want, really. It's easy to become unhappy. And it is more difficult to be happy. Bear that in mind, You see, to long for happiness, to become happy, really take long time. But to become unhappy, it's everywhere. Que se passe-t-il pour une personne qui s'est suicidée? This is a very big question now. What happened for people which commit suicide? You see, everybody which committing suicide, at the time they are passing, the soul is leaving the body, they have deep regret why they are doing it. Have you seen somebody drowning? So often you will see somebody is drowning with a hand always up. If you are drowning, why you have to put your hand up? There's a hope that somebody will save you. So the soul of those who commit suicide, you know, is also depend on what they have done here. There is certain suicide which can also give you good karma. You know that? For example, let's say, some people commit suicide for a good cause. You understand? No? In China, no, for example, in China, Tibet, often the people burn themselves in protest for the liberation of Tibet. You know? Have you heard about it? I don't know in Vietnam. I know about Tibet.
Historically, some Tibetan monks would burn themselves.
Yeah, but this is for a good cause, they're committing suicide. Then this doesn't imply a negative karma. Nonetheless, for renounce the karma that they have is the offend to the gift of life which God have given. Because this is one of the most precious gifts. But their karma is not that strong. Krishna in the Gita said, those who commit suicide, they become ghosts. In the next life, they are born in the tamasic region. You know, they become not evil. What I'm talking about, ghosts is like spirit which roam around without any peace. But one thing is, if somebody commit suicide, if you are praying instantly, you know, and really strong, this can help the soul of that person to free, to move on, you know, not to free himself, but to release from that sin. Because suicide is one of the, like I said, biggest sin, but some can be redeemed also. Sant Gyaneshwar, the mother and father of Sant Gyaneshwar from Pune, from Maharashtra actually, very great saint. Both parents commit suicide, but they were free by their son. Sri Raghavendra Swami, his wife, also commits suicide because she could not bear staying away from her husband, because her husband have left. When they were together, she didn't even care for him, but afterwards she wanted to serve him, but he renounced the world, he renounced everything. So she commits suicide. But when she came to Raghavendra Swami, he liberated her. So you see, coming to the shelter of saints and sadhu, those souls can be free also. But they must be also centered into that. They must have that direction. If in life, God, which have given you this beautiful life, you didn't have that direction, in death, it won't help. Comment lutter contre l'élitisme spirituel? Ne?
Élitisme. Non, élitisme.
Comment lutter contre l'élitisme? L'arrogance spirituelle. Ah ouais, ça c'est terrible ça. You see, how to... These two doesn't go together. Arrogance and spirituality. Often, you see, you will see people which is on the spiritual path, they're very proud of themselves, you know. But this is actually the worst of all. It's better to be not spiritual than being spiritual. Because spiritual pride, in spiritual pride you lose even more than normal people. How? You see, for normal people, when they create a certain mistake, no, their karma is accordingly. Whereas the spiritual people, when they made a mistake, especially when they have such a great pride inside of them, when they make a mistake, it's even much more. It's multiplied by their spirituality plus their pride. So that's why on the spiritual path we say to be humble. To constantly watch yourself. Why do you think on the spiritual path we say to daily analyze yourself? Just for you to say, oh yeah, today I've been meditating, I'm doing my career and so on. No. So that pride, that arrogance doesn't rise inside of you. Because if pride and arrogance rise, you lose everything. But with humility, you will gain everything. So watch yourself and analyze yourself. I'm not saying to judge yourself or to criticize yourself. See, by judging yourself and criticize yourself, you will not change anything. You will just say, oh, I am like this, I am like that, but there's no changes. But if you daily analyze yourself, you will change yourself, you will see what you have to change. Then there will be no place for spiritual pride. There will be no place for arrogance. So ask yourself, why arrogance? What does it help to be arrogant? I'm asking you a question now. Anyone help? What does it help to be arrogant?
Blind spot.
Yes, because it is ignorance. You see, due to ignorance, people become arrogant. That is why knowledge is important. On the spiritual path, is not. You should never. You have to educate yourself. Not just read without understanding what you are reading. So that keep you always humble. Or the master will always keep you humble. There were once, you see, there were once a monk. So he went to a saint, he went to a monastery, and he asked the saint, please, I want to take shelter at your feet. I've been looking everywhere for the right master, and I've seen, but you are the right master for me. The monk, the teacher, the guru, whatever you want to say, said to him, listen, I don't have much time for you right now, but as you are so eager, you know, do this sadhana, you know. So then then when I come back, we will talk about it. So after 40 days, you know, the man had been very strongly in his spiritual practice, and of course he was sitting in the remote place and was very up to himself, thinking only about himself. I, singing one glory always, you know. And he started to levitate. Of course, pride also makes you levitate sometimes, not only spirituality. The spiritual pride also levitate you. So he was very much happy, you know. So look at me, you know, I'm flying now. Because he have read that to levitate means you have progressed spiritually also. So he was flying in the air. So after 40 days, the guru came back, you know, and he was so happy, you know, said, Guru, you don't know what have happened, you know. Look, I'm levitating. And Guru said, show me. So, sit down very arrogant. So he started to levitate. As he was levitating, the Guru took a big stick and beat him up so much that he fell down. And the Guru said, go away from here. That before you levitate, you first must learn to sit. You have not learned to sit, you start to levitate. And this is the same, you know. Because people often, the spiritual pride arises because they read few books. They think they know everything. And they don't know what it is truly to surrender. You know, that's why they levitate in their pride. But those who truly are on the spiritual path, you know, they will take the word of the Master and have full belief in it. There was a similar story of a young man. He went to the Guru, and the Guru also said, I don't have time, I'll come back. But meanwhile, there was a big stone down the hill. And he said to the fellow, that meanwhile that you're waiting for me, push this big stone up on the mountain again. So the Guru went, came back, you know, and he saw the man was pushing, the man tried to push the stone, could not even move it an inch. So he tried and tried and tried, could not. So what he did, he lied down, waiting for the Guru to come. So when the Guru came, saw him lying down, said, what are you doing? Why are you sleeping down? I told you to push this big stone up there. Then he said, look, I tried. Whole effort I tried. But I can't. It's impossible. And the Guru said to him, listen, if you can't trust the word of a master, the word of a master can move the stone, can move mountain. How can you not move that stone from down up? So only when you are humble you will be able to really grasp the word of the Master. But if you put always yourself first, I, singing the glory of I, that will never happen. That's why it said to watch yourself continuously. Continuously. Because similar to Jalabarata, I was telling you the story, you can fall. Even if you have come to the point of Jivamukta. But those who truly is surrender, the word of our Master is everything. Even the impossible become possible. Adi Shankaracharya had a devotee. His favorite devotee was Padmapada. So Padmapada, his name was Sadanand first. So Sadanand was his favorite devotee, disciple. And everybody was jealous of him because he was the favorite disciple. So one day Shankaracharya overheard the devotee was saying, oh, why Sadanand is the favorite devotee of Adi Shankaracharya. So as he was hearing that, he wanted to teach them a lesson. So one day he was sitting across the lake, the other side of the lake. And from the other side of the lake, he called Sadanand. So everybody was wondering how Sadanand will go there, He will start running this way or that way. So Sadanand just thought of Adi Shankaracharya and start running on the water. So at that moment they realized what his degree of spirituality is not what one see on the outside, but it was only visible through the eyes of the Master. So what the Master see is far more what one see for oneself. You may have a certain idea of spirituality, you may have a certain idea, a certain thoughts of what spirituality have to be. But what have brought you on that spiritual path, and where you will reach, this is visible only to the eyes of the Master. And if you have that divine vision, you will always be humble. The same vision Bhagavan Krishna gave to Arjuna on the battlefield. So bringing his consciousness to a very high level so that he can perceive what will be in the future. So like that, when God called you on the spiritual path, He knows, why He brought you on the spiritual path. Not to boost your ego, not to make you proud of yourself, but in reality, to cut that pride. But here you say, no, I want to hold it and I want to be spiritual. I want to have everything. It doesn't go together. So, watch yourself. Okay. Jai Gurudev. Narayan Narayan Jai Jai Narayan 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 Jai Jai Narayan 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 Jai Jai Narayan 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 Jai Jai Narayan Narayan. That's very difficult.
Narayan 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 Jai Jai Narayan Narayan.
Narayana 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 Narayana
Narayana Narayana Jai Jai Narayana Narayana.
Narayana Narayana Jai Jai Narayana Narayana Jai Jai Narayana Narayana Jai Narayana Narayana Jai Jai Narayana Narayana Jai Jai
Narayana Narayana Jai Jai Narayana Narayana.
Narayana Narayana Jai Jai Govinda Hare Narayana Narayana Jai Jai Gopal Hare
Narayana Narayana Jai Jai Govinda Hare Narayana Narayana Jai Jai Gopal Hare
Narayana Narayana Jai Jai Narayana Narayana Jai Jai Narayana Narayana Jai Jai Narayana Narayana Jai Jai
Narayana Narayana Jai Jai Narayana Narayana Jai Narayana Narayana Jai Jai Narayana Narayana.
Jai Jai Govinda Hare Gopal Hare
Jai Jai Govinda Hare Gopal
Gopal Hare
Jai Jai Govinda Hare Gopal Hare.
Jai Jai Govinda Hare Jai Jai Gopal Hare
Jai Jai Govinda Hare Jai Jai Gopal Hare.
Jai Jai Govinda Hare Jai Hare Jai Narayana Narayana
Narayana Narayana Jai Jai Narayana Narayana. Narayana Narayana Jai Jai Narayana Narayana.
Narayana Narayana Jai Jai Narayana Narayana Jai Jai Narayana Narayana Jai Narayana Jai Jai Narayana Narayana Jai Narayana Narayana Jai Narayana Narayana Jai Jai Narayana 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 Jai Jai Narayana 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 Jai Jai Narayana 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 Jai Jai Narayana Narayana Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Gauranga Hare Nitai Gauranga Hare Nitai Nitai Gauranga Hare Nitai Gauranga Hare Gauranga Hare Nitai Gauranga Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Govinda Hare Gopala Hare Gopala Hare Govinda Hare Gopala Hare Gopala Hare Narayana Narayana Jai Jai Narayana 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 Jai Jai Narayana Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya Shanti Shanti Shanti